Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of your favorite podcast, Actors Endurance. Now, today we have a gem for y'all, for those of you that didn't know. We're going to tell you today, Marlon, what are we going to tell them today?
We're going to tell them about call sheets. Ever heard of them?
Uh-huh. Do you know what a call sheet is? You're listening to Actors Endurance, a podcast that inspires actors to never give up on their passion and find ways to continue to grow within the entertainment industry. My name is Shanette Wilson, and I'm an actress, and my co-host is Marlon Hargrave, and he is a teaching artist. And together, we are Actors Endurance. All right, y'all. So today it's all about call sheets. We want to prepare you because we're getting ready to get some downtime in the business and, things are going to shut down. So at the top of the year, we want y'all to be ready for pilot season when you start booking. And when you show up on set, before you show up on set, we want you to be prepared. I'll say that. It's a call sheet is before you even get to the set. So what is a call sheet, Marlon?
A call sheet is a document to tell you where to be, where to go, and who's going to be there on that set.
Yes, yes. So a call sheet defined is the goal of this document, the call sheet. The goal of it is to inform your cast and crew where they need to go and at what time. So that's what a call sheet is. The call sheet tells you where to go and what time. There's a lot of other information on the call sheet, but that's the basis of a call sheet. So
Almost
what
like
we're
a
going to do
schedule.
today is we are going to give you some examples of call sheets, and we're going to run them down, give you all the little specifics and all the things that you need to know, and definitely the things that you need to pay attention to, because we want you to show up on set and be as professional as possible. That's one of the biggest things that you can do. Not only professional, be on time, but yeah. So
And
we're
for
going to go
those,
right into it. We are going to go right into it. So a call sheet. The first part of the call sheet is the call sheet heading. And then you got to go to, where you got to go to, Marlon? After the call
uh,
sheet heading, yeah.
after the call sheet heading, you would go into, you're looking at your client name, the production name up top,
Mhm.
and
Real quick, real
populate it.
quick. The
Mhm.
date, the date.
Oh, the date, yes. Because if you're doing a multiple day shoot, they may send you a call sheet, but they may send you a call sheet for all 5 days, or at least be able to inform you of what days you need to be there. So if it's a 5 day shoot, you may need to be there 3 out of 5, and it will show you exactly not only the date of the actual call sheet, but the dates will be populated in there when you're supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, absolutely right. The date is really, really important. And then again, like you said, the client name. So you want to know what they're looking for. That's not too important. The production name. I mean, everything on here is important, but there are levels. Like everything, there's levels to this. So yeah, okay, you want to know the client name, which is wonderful because you can look them up, see what they like and who they are. Production name, what they like, who they are. You want to know who the client is. That's really important too because they tell you to bring wardrobe to set, and the client is, say, Target. If you know the client is Target, their colors are red. So don't show up with blue. You want to show up with the client's colors or somewhere in that area. So the client can be very important. The crew call. What's the crew call, Marlon?
The crew call is when the crew is supposed to show up. So you may have an 8 a.m. crew call, and the crew, if you're part of the crew, then that's you, but you are not part of the talent, or the crew is not the talent. So you're going to have those be separate things. So if you see a crew call as an actor, know that that is not you. You just know that the crew will be there at a specific time.
Yes, yes. So the crew call on this particular call sheet, which is a little sample call sheet, it says 9 a.m. So if the crew call is 9 a.m., best believe that the crew will be there 8:30. They will be there 30 minutes prior to their actual call time, which is the same as you. You should be there at least 30 minutes prior to your actual call time. 15 minutes is okay, but 30 minutes is much, much better. Not only that, they eat lunch 6 hours after crew call. So if the crew call is 9 a.m., they're going to eat lunch at 3 p.m. So depending on what your call time is, make that adjustment. So if the crew call is 9 a.m. and your call time is let's say after 11, they usually hold breakfast for about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. If your call time is 11 or after, make sure you eat breakfast before you arrive on set. There will be craft services. However, there will 9 times out of 10 will not be a full meal. Okay. Just a little tip from Actors Endurance.
Yes.
And speaking of that,
Yes. This episode of Actors Endurance is brought to you by Actors Endurance.
hey,
Look at
you
the
say
gear.
it.
Look at it. You know what's up? Look at our hats. Look at our t-shirts. We have bags. We actually have a whole store, but this is just part of our inventory. So check us out. Support independent actors like we support you.
Yes, yes, yes. This is for we got t-shirts, hats, and other gear for all artists and actors of all kinds. And anyway, going back into it. So what else we got? Yeah, so on the crew call, what else we got, Marlon? What else we got on here? In the
You
head.
should see the weather should be up on that top somewhere.
Yeah.
Very important because if it's rainy or things like that, you want to know, especially if you're shooting out of town and that's not your area. You know, it's warm over here, but I'm in Texas, so it's warm here. I'm in a t-shirt outside in December. You know, but in other parts of the country, it's a little bit colder. So you get a chance to see what the weather is like, and more importantly, you get a chance to see where the nearest hospital is. And I'm thankful I've never been on a set where we had to go to the hospital, but it was always good to notice that one was nearby just in case an emergency happened. So you definitely want to look at that.
Yeah.
And the weather, very important, is very important as well.
Yes, for sure. And a couple of other important things on here is the production context. If you have any questions about anything, let's say prior to that day or even that day, make sure you reach out to production. That's why they put their names down on there. Their names and their phone numbers will be on the call sheet, so you can contact them at any time for any reason. And then also locations contact. If you're having trouble finding the place, you can't find parking, or you get lost for any reason, contact locations or productions and they will guide you in. I would say locations if you get lost, productions if you have any questions about your shoot day. And then
Yeah,
outside of that is the base camp and the crew parking. Crew parking and is very important because that's when you show up on set, that's the first place you're going to go to. So when you drive on set, you arrive at the crew parking. And the base camp is typically where production is held at. The production manager is typically set up at the base camp. So you want to make sure you know all of these things, okay? And that's just in the heading of the call sheet. So when you get the call sheet, read everything about the heading so you make sure you know your contacts. If you get lost or you need some information, you also know where you're going, okay?
and Google those locations, especially as you're going down the call sheet and you see where you are in a location. Google it so that you can get there early, get to know the traffic, the weather, well, I said weather, but traffic as well, because there are no excuses. If you're in LA, it's going to take an hour to get somewhere. That's just the way that LA is, sometimes even in Georgia with the traffic. So you Google it first, Google your travel time, and then Google the time that you're traveling so that it can estimate how long it's going to take, according to how busy those or what time the traffic is busier, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
I suggest using Waze, y'all. You can use Google Maps if you want to. I suggest using Waze. You can plan your trip. They'll send you a reminder out. They plan for the traffic so you can plan ahead. So you already know what to expect for the most part, and Waze is pretty accurate. So I would suggest just use Waze, y'all. Just use Waze. And then Now, after the heading of the call sheet, you go down into the body of the call sheet. So the body of the call sheet lists all the crew, the talent, the agency, and the vendors. And it gives you all the call times for all of these people. Now, sometimes, well, I would say most of the time, the agency and the client, they typically won't. Well, yeah, they will have call times most of the time. Sometimes they won't. But typically these are all the people that have their call time. So you make sure you take a look at that, so you'll have to go down there, you'll find your name, and they usually typically give the person's their role, the name, the phone number, the email, and the call time. And
And a number, and a number. They will have a number beside your name. They're not going to keep repeating your name or your client or the character that you're playing. You'll see, like let's say that I was number one. Number one, I'm playing Cliff. It's Marlon Hargrave, my number, and then my contact. And then later down further in the call sheet, they're not going to list my character or anything. They're just going to say one at this location at this time. So at least the ones that I'm used to looking at, you'll have a number in there that represents you. And so once you find where you are in that number, just know that that is your number and you will be that number throughout that call sheet.
yes, and I've seen it both ways where they actually do number it, or they'll list you in that order. So you'll just count down. If you're third down where it says talent, then you're number three. Simple as that.
Oh,
So
oh yes, yes.
yeah, I've seen it both ways, but either way, he's 100% right. There is a there's an order to this because there's rules to this.
Uh-huh. And even up top. Oh,
Uh-huh. And anyway, speaking of good things, what we got here? We got quality gear for you artists out there. So make sure you guys check out actorsendurance.com. We got t-shirts, we got hats, mugs, but check out this here unique t-shirt that we got for the resilient artists. All my resilient artists, man, y'all need to get on that. Actorsendurance.com. Yeah, and go ahead and shop now. Mm-hmm.
yep, holiday season, go get them.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
And even going back to the call sheet, we have something that's called above the line and below the line. So above the line is going to be the pretty important people like the producers, the director, anyone that has a very, very high rank. Oftentimes you'll see that you won't have their phone numbers or their emails. It'll just have a bunch of pound signs on there, but it's letting you know who are the key people in the production. So as talent, we fall below the line. And that just means the talent, the crew, and pretty much everybody else that's under the director, producer, or anyone else that would fit up over the above the line. So you look
Mhm.
below that and then try to find all of your information.
Yes, and on this call sheet that we just showed you, so we went through the heading. Underneath the heading on the left-hand side is all the crew, and then on the right-hand side, that's where you'll find above the line, like you said, the client, producers, all those important people. Below the line typically below the line on the right-hand side of the call sheet, that's where you get all the talent, the vendors, you get all those people. So when you get your call sheet, typically you'll read the heading and then you'll go down right, and you'll see all your information for all the actors. Let me see. So yeah, one tip, very important. I think we've said it. Read the additional notes at the bottom of the call sheet. So you want to read the heading, you want to read the whole section. You want to read your section, looking for if you have the talent, you want to see, what time your call time is, all that good stuff. And then at the very bottom, a lot of times it's in red, sometimes it's not, but you want to read the bottom with the additional notes. It might be something in there of major importance. Okay. Also, when you get the call sheet email, read the entire email. Don't just read the top or just look for your information. A lot of times they set you up too. So make sure you read the entire email. So this right here, this call sheet, this was a major production. So there were close to 200 people on this call sheet. That's why it was so big with all the different, it's like 4 different sections. You had the heading, the bottom left was all the crew, on the right, top right were the vendor, I mean, excuse me, the agency, client, then underneath you have the vendors and the talent. Now on a smaller production, the call sheet is smaller, obviously. But
Right.
before we get into that, we're gonna show you a little something real quick. We're gonna show you a little something because we want all
Yes.
blessed, right?
Be blessed. Be blessed. Be
Tell them.
blessed. We love that T-shirt. It is something, it's something that you could do year round. It's something that you could do daily, actually. That is to be blessed, and you will get a blessing in return.
Yes, yes,
Believe that.
yes. Mhm.
Yes,
Um,
active endurance.
so yes, be blessed, actors endurance, because we want all y'all to succeed, so many blessings to you. And in order to succeed, you need the knowledge. So here we go. Here's a little smaller call sheet for a smaller production. Typically, uh, I would say on maybe like a I want to say short film, but probably not. I say like more of a smaller commercial, things like that. Or it could be a major film, but they're only shooting certain scenes, so only want a few people on there. But either way, for a call sheet for a smaller production, you got the same information, the same setup, but again, always read the entire call sheet. So you have the heading with all that good information, with the client, agency, call time. You have the weather. You have the hospital, and then below that, it always starts with like the director, the camera, then the rest of the crew, and then on the right hand side, client, agency. Then you get into talent. Then you get into vendors. So, and then the bottom, the additional notes, people. Remember, you heard it here first at actorsendurance.com. Come on now, because we're here for the actors. So,
Oh my God!
oh,
Ah, back
wait,
without
hold
Adam.
up,
Caught me off
hold
guard, man.
up,
I just
yeah.
looked up and then kaboom, right in your face. Guess who stepped in the room? Kadow. Actors Endurance. Back up in here. My Adam for the day, the acting tip of the moment with these call sheets is highlight every single area that you're in, and then make sure that you have the call sheet with you at all times. Definitely do that. And an additional tip is show up about 15 minutes to a half an hour early, simply because most of the time productions are behind. So if you get there right on time, they just may rush you right through, and it can unravel you if you're not ready for it. So at least if you're there a little bit earlier, you're not as rushed, and you can kind of get a feel for, are they on time, are they behind, or how's the production going for the day before you start to get in there. So take that, Adam, and really use it to your advantage. The crew and directors and everybody will love you for it.
Yes, yes, they will. Yes, they will. Because if they have to worry about you, it's not good. You're already leaving a bad impression. You want them to know your name because you were the first one on set. You were prepared. You don't want them to know your name because they keep looking at their watch. They're anxious. They're nervous. They're worried. They don't know what happened. Did you get stuck in traffic? They just don't know. So you want to be, like I said, 15 minutes. They start to worry. I'm just telling you. So make sure you
Yes.
get there at least 30 minutes prior. Trust me,
That
15
is the
minutes to
truth,
like,
though.
yeah.
Yes. So especially when they don't know you. Even when they know you, yeah, but when they don't know you,
Mhm.
sweating bullets. And if you do show up late, when your agent calls or whoever sent you there, when they call, you best believe they're gonna say they were there on time or they were late. It doesn't matter whether you come there and do a great job. If you're not on time, you're not reliable. So yes, that call sheet is as important as your audition sometimes.
Exactly, exactly. And also you got to remember the talent is on the bottom of the call sheet for a reason. They're one of the last people to get there for a reason. Actors always want to feel like they're the most important people on set. A lot of actors don't even show up for the job after they booked it.
Mm. Yeah,
Happens. So
I
that's
tell you,
another reason why they worry. You might take the job and say,
that's true. That happens all the time. And one of my teachers back in AMDA said that you're hired help. You're hired help. You're not that important. And
yeah.
I tell people that I train, and being honest, you as an actor are the most expendable person on that set. You
Yes.
really are. It's hard to find great wardrobe. It's hard to find a great PA. It's hard to find, really hard to find a really good AD.
Yes.
So all of these positions they don't want to lose, but they can replace you the night before.
Yes.
So
Same
you're
day
not the most
sometimes.
important thing.
Yeah, I'm
Uh-huh.
sorry. Yeah, same day sometimes. I've seen it happen same day, replace an actor. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So
So
yeah,
don't, yeah, don't go in there with the big head. You will be deflated. So you're working. So treat it like a job.
yes, exactly. And then going right back into it. So here's another call sheet. So we're giving you three types of call sheets. For a major production, around 200 people, another production, maybe around 75 people. Like I said, the format is all the same for those two productions, format, information, all the same. Now, this third call sheet is for student films or non-union productions. So these call sheets, they have the same information. Well, I'll say hopefully. 95%, 95% of the time you get the same information if they're very professional and they understand what they're doing. And sometimes people miss the ball, or maybe they don't know. This is the learning business, I get it. So for the most part, the same things you'll get on the major call sheets you'll get on the smaller productions like student films non-union, where the heading has all the information, the crew call time, weather, etc. They'll have the contacts up at the top. Now, one of the bonuses, though, when you work for these student films and non-union productions, look at this. What's that say? Come on.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So since it's a smaller production, they typically provide the schedule along with the call sheet. So now you know exactly what's gonna happen in what order. Wonderful, isn't it? That's wonderful.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen call sheets, especially on bigger productions, where it was like two or three call sheets, and it can get really confusing. Plus a schedule, But
Yeah.
if you have everything sitting there together, it simplifies you, so you're not so nervous, and you can kind of get a really good feel about what's going on around you, and it helps build confidence, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, yeah. The more information you have, the better you feel about it. You're just more at ease because when you show up on these bigger productions, you have no idea what's going on. So you don't know if they're going to call you first, second, third. You have no idea. So it makes you just slightly more anxious. So when you're working these union gigs, the breakdowns or the schedule breakdown or schedule, because sometimes it say the breakdown of the day, or sometimes they'll call it the schedule. Either one, the word is just fine. The verbiage. So when you're working these union gigs, the breakdown or schedule for the day is not typically shared with the talent. They usually only give that to the crew. A lot of times you can grab a PA. They might share that information with you if you're cool, you showed up on time, you're professional, things like that. They might share that with you, but typically talent doesn't receive that. So yeah, on these other call sheets, so the format is pretty much the same. It'll usually have all that information up top, and then it'll have the schedule, and then they'll have like the crew's name, their role, and any kind of props or wardrobe that they need for the day. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're giving you
Also keep in mind, oh, sorry about that. Also keep in mind, before I forget this, you will have other people's information on there, but you are not at liberty to do whatever you want with that information. Okay, it's not yours. It's literally, the call sheet is still the property of the production. So if you want to get in contact with someone, you still should ask permission by the person. Not, if you see the AD, and the AD's name is Chris or something, you have to go to Chris and say, "Hey, can I contact you?" Just don't take the liberty to contact people just because they were on a call list and you guys were in a production together. You can get blacklisted that way as well because it's private information, and some people may want to keep it like that. But we have to divulge this information just for the timesheet. The people that are involved in the production. So it is private information. Respect it, please. Thank you.
Yes, and that's why you'll see on the larger gigs, a lot of times the lower you are on the totem pole, the less information you receive. So sometimes you may not receive the entire call sheet. If you're working on a major production, you might only receive the information that is pertinent to you only. So yeah, it's something to pay attention to. And then yeah,
Oh, all
getting ready to
right.
go into
Yes.
before we go into the quote of the day.
Look
Yeah,
at that.
yeah,
Be blessed. Look at that. Look at that big phone with a
I'm
be
telling
blessed and a bee and some praying hands. Be blessed. Be
you. Y'all
blessed. Be
see it.
blessed. Be blessed
Y'all
that
see
you
it.
woke up today, and be blessed that you have an opportunity to actually go and buy that shirt.
Yes, yes, yes. So y'all be blessed and remember where you heard it from first. Actors Endurance, baby. We got the AE gear and we got the Be Blessed gear because we're rooting for you. And now we're going right into the quote of the day. Now, the quote of the day obviously has something to do with the episode, y'all, because that's how we do it around here. And it goes to my man. We both from the East Coast. So, of course, I got to throw him up in there, huh? All of us from the East Coast. Myself, my partner, and Ben Affleck. Okay.
Batman. That's
Yes.
Batman to
Hey,
y'all.
okay. All right. All right. Batman, Batman, Batman. So, what he says is, all I really do, oh, excuse me, all I do really is go to work and try to be professional, be on time, and be prepared. Listen, y'all, if you can do those few things, those just couple of things, you will go so far in this business. You will go so far in this business. So,
Very
yes,
true.
yes, Ben Affleck said, all I do really is go to work, try to be professional, be on time, and be prepared.
He said work. He said work. I said that earlier. This is a job.
Yes, it
It
is.
really, really is.
Yes.
So I had a student of mine, Jamel Simon, when he first started working. I believe he was working with the actress Jack Hay, who's a legend from back in the 90s and the 2000s. And when he got up there with her, he was sort of brand new. And she said, relax. It's your job. It's just your job. Treat it like that and you'll be fine. Don't
Mhm.
worry about being a star. Don't worry about anything. Treat it like a professional job, and he's done great. Of course, he's Bernard Upshaw and the Upshaws now, but yeah, shout out to my man
Yeah,
Jamel.
shout out
Uh,
Jamel. Hey, yeah, I love the show
yeah,
too. Hmm.
yeah. And it was kind of cool because I think a lot of people think that it's about being a star. No, it's about being a professional, actually. The professional is what makes you a star.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind, guys.
Mhm. Yeah, and on that note, y'all, thank y'all for joining us on another episode of actorsendurance.com. Make sure you guys go to the website, check out this wonderful gear that we got for y'all. And we drop episodes on the 1st and the 15th. And make sure you check those out. We'll
All
see you
right.
next time.
And
Bye.
remember, greatness is a process. Hone your skills daily.